Good evening, everyone. My name is Quinn, and I'm a bookseller here at the Reading Room CLE. This week, one of my friends asked, what was the thing that made you happy today? And I will say, on that day, the thing that made me happy was that my morning glory seedlings had sprouted, and I'm looking forward to seeing how they grow. The thing that made Cha-Cha happy today was that it was Robert Frost's birthday recently. And when she found out that we had missed celebrating Robert Frost's birthday, which is March 26th, she said, how could we miss celebrating Robert Frost's birthday? We were supposed to get tacos. And I said, well, I don't remember that, but I suppose it could be true. And she said, it is time for tacos. And she had tacos. And I must say, after the tacos, she did not seem to be feeling very well, so she's been in her pajamas, napping, much of the afternoon, and for dinner tonight, she is just having a little bit of chicken-flavored Italian ice, and then she is going to go to bed. But before she goes to bed, I'm going to read her this story by Mr. Frost for his children. It is called Old Stick in the Mud. Irma went wagging her dress out into the big pasture, and one of the fence posts down in the low ground saw her and asked her what she was after. Checkerberries. Are you sure it isn't cranberries? I know where there are some of those, or were last fall. No, checkerberries. Well, I guess I can direct you to some of those, just ahead of you. I don't see any. Not there, to your right. No, to your right. Oh, no. Here, you come here and hold this wire, and I'll go and find some for you. So Irma went and unbuttoned the barbed wires from the fence post. There were 3 of them, and he showed her how she would have to hold them to keep them just the right distance apart so the cow couldn't get out, 1 in her mouth and 1 in each hand. She had to take a very awkward position, and the wire in her mouth made it hard for her to talk. The fence post pulled himself out of his hole and set off. He didn't seem to know as well where the checkerberries were as he thought, or pretended he did, for he went zigzagging here and there, brushing the grass with his foot, without once stooping to pick any. Finally, he came back to Irma and said, I just thought, what would I pick into if I happened to find berries? If you happened to find berries? Irma sputtered, on account of the wire in her mouth. I thought you said you knew where the berries were. Pick them into your hands, but hurry up. I can't keep these wires spaced right much longer. But I haven't any hands. Perhaps I'd better go up to the house for a can. If you do, Irma spluttered, I'll just drop everything and let the fence fall. Don't do that. The cow will get out. I will. Now. Oh, don't, little girl. Well, go ahead. I don't care. Drop them. It won't be my loss. The cow's yours. And you know how it will be if she gets a taste of apples. She'll simply go apple crazy, and then she'll have to go into the barn for the rest of the season. Irma squeezed a tear out of each eye as the fence post stumped off. On his way to the house, he came to a hole in the pine grove where long ago someone had taken out a few loads of dirt and had afterwards dumped rubbish there. In it, he spied a very rusty old tomato can, but not much rustier than the wire Irma held in her mouth so faithfully through all, which he thought would do well enough. He waved it at Irma as he came hurrying back with it. Just you hold on a minute or 2 longer in all 3 places, he laughed. Irma had made up her mind to tell Papa. There were berries, as Irma knew very well from having been there before with the other children, and presently the fence post found them. He picked and picked, and if he had had a corn can instead of a tomato can, I believe he would have filled it. As it was, he must have picked a pint. Irma began to be afraid that he was tricky and might be planning to go off when he got through and leave her to hold up the fence forever. But presently he came and let her look down into the can at the berries. Ooh, she exclaimed. Now, button the wires back onto me, he said, and go home to Papa. He dropped into his watery hole with a splash. She did as she was told, wiped her mouth on her sleeve, picked up her berries, and was about to run for it when suddenly she remembered that she wasn't going to forgive the fence post no matter how handsomely he treated her in the end. So she put her head on one side, wagged her dress, and said, big lady sillyways, what's your cutie little name, please? What, mine? Well, my name's Old Stick in the Mud. That was all she wanted, and she ran home to tell Papa on him. First, she bragged a little about her berries, and then she settled down to cry so that someone would ask her what was the matter. That gave her a chance to tell her story. She told the whole thing, not leaving out the place where the fence post laughed at her. "Which fence post was it, dear?" Mama asked. "It was old Stick in the Mud. I got it out of him." "Oh, old Stick in the Mud," laughed Papa. "He's a nice old fellow. He wouldn't do anything to hurt you. That's just his funny way. He's awfully old. Oldest post on the farm. Stands in an awfully wet hole, too. Sort of leans forward. But goodness, he likes everybody. He's naughty, but not naughty." Cha-Cha, that's that play on words we were talking about with the wood and the I know. Remember to say thank you to him next time you're down that way. So that story is one of Robert Frost's Stories for Children, and you can get this book of his poetry and prose on our website or wherever books are sold. I will see you tomorrow, by which time I certainly hope that Cha-Cha has slept off these tacos and become a little more comfortable with her life. And in the meantime, keep reading.